DK's Children's Encyclopedia. Space. Presenting highlights of DK's Children's Encyclopedia, with additional topics coming soon. Asteroid. Asteroids are rocky metallic objects that travel around the Sun. They formed at the same time as the planets. Most asteroids are covered in craters or dents from where they have smashed into each other. Most asteroids have uneven shapes, but the biggest asteroids are round. The biggest asteroids are also called dwarf planets. The asteroid Toutatis is 5 kilometers, 3 miles, long. The craters on an asteroid's surface are made by bumping into smaller asteroids. Scientists think that in the future, people will mine asteroids for their metals, minerals, and water. Spaceships may stop off on asteroids as they travel out into the solar system. Astronauts. Astronauts are people who are specially trained to take part in missions in space. They help us learn more about the universe we live in. Fewer than 600 people have been into space, and only 12 have walked on the moon. The International Space Station is a permanent base for astronauts. The station is 400 kilometers, 250 miles, above the Earth. It can house 6 astronauts at a time. Space can be both very hot and very cold. To keep themselves safe, astronauts wear special suits with helmets, gloves, boots, and an air supply. It takes many years of work to become an astronaut. Astronauts have to learn many new skills. They also train hard to make sure they're fit and healthy. Comets. Comets are objects in the solar system made of ice, dust, and rock. They have a hard core and long tails of gas and dust. Every now and again, they appear within sight of Earth before disappearing into deep space. Comets move around the Sun. Their tails always point away from the Sun, but in slightly different directions. When a comet gets closer to the Sun, its ice melts and 2 tails form, one made of gas and one made of dust. The closer a comet gets to the Sun, the longer its tails become. Constellations. Ancient civilizations looked at the night sky and grouped stars into patterns or constellations to represent heroes, creatures, and objects. As the Earth moves, the constellations appear to move across the sky. The stars are all at different distances from the Earth. Ursa Major, also known as the Big Dipper. Ursa Major, Great Bear, can only be seen from the northern half of Earth. This star is called Miser. This constellation represents a half-man, half-horse creature from Greek myth. It is only visible from the southern half of Earth. This star is called Menkent, meaning shoulder of the centaur. Orion. The hunter, Orion, is one of the most well-known constellations. 3 bright stars line up to make Orion's belt. Galaxies. Galaxies are enormous groups of stars, planets, dust, and gas that are held together by the force of gravity. They come in different sizes and shapes, including spiral, elliptical, and irregular. Spiral galaxies are disc-shaped with spiral arms. They are the most common type of galaxy. On average, they contain more than 100 billion stars. Our Milky Way is a spiral galaxy. Scientists think that galaxies are mostly made of a material called dark matter, which we can't see. Gravity. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls us back down towards Earth when we jump in the air. If we throw a ball up, it comes down because of gravity. Without it, we would float off into space. The strong pull of Earth's gravity keeps the moon moving around it. Without gravity, the moon would disappear off into space. Scientist Isaac Newton realized there was a pattern behind objects falling towards Earth. Newton came up with the theory of gravity after watching apples fall from a tree. Earth's gravity pulls things towards it. When a skydiver jumps out of a plane, gravity starts to pull him down. Eventually, he will use a parachute to slow his fall. Meteorites. Meteorites are pieces of space rock, asteroids and comets, that reach the surface of the Earth. They come in many different sizes, from tiny pebbles to rock the size of a house. Only big meteorites can create craters when they hit the ground. The name of a space rock changes as it approaches Earth. In space, it is a meteoroid. In the atmosphere, it is a meteor. And on the ground, it is a meteorite. Meteorites are made of materials that are also found on Earth. There are three main types. Stony. Most meteorites that are found are stony. They come from the crusts of asteroids. Iron. Iron meteorites are made of iron and nickel metals. They come from cores of asteroids. Stony iron. Stony iron meteorites are a mixture of metal and rock. They are very rare. Milky Way. The Milky Way is a galaxy or group of stars. It contains more than 200 million stars, including our Sun. Astronomers think that the Milky Way is shaped like a spiral, with two main arms. Our solar system is located about halfway between the center and edge of the Milky Way. It turns around its center once every 240 million years. The spiral arms are made of stars, gas, and dust. Scutum Centaurus arm and Perseus arm. Edwin Hubble was a famous American astronomer of the 20th century. He was the first person to realize that there are other galaxies beyond the Milky Way. He also measured the distances between galaxies. Moon. The moon is a round, rocky, airless body that circles the Earth. It is the most familiar object in the sky after the sun. People have visited the moon, but not since 1972. The moon is the only object in the solar system that has been visited by humans. American Apollo spacecraft landed 12 people on the moon between 1969 and 1972. Scientists think the moon was created when a small planet, Theia, crashed into the Earth 4.5 billion years ago. As a result, rocks on the moon are similar to rock. Moon. The moon is a round rock. Satellites. Satellites are objects that go around or orbit something bigger. There are more than 2,000 artificial satellites orbiting the Earth. They are used for a variety of different jobs. Some track the weather, while others let us communicate with each other. The Global Positioning System, GPS, gives our exact position on the Earth. The system uses more than 20 satellites working together to pinpoint your location. Communication satellites pick up signals and send them to other places in the world. They are used for phone calls and live video communications. Weather satellites take pictures of the clouds and measure land and sea temperatures. This information helps us to study and forecast the weather. Solar system. The solar system is made up of our star, the Sun, and everything that travels around it. This includes 8 planets and their moons, asteroids, and comets. Scientists think the solar system formed 4.6 billion years ago from a massive spinning cloud of gas and dust. There are 3 types of planet in the solar system: rocky planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are small and rocky with solid surfaces. Ice giants. Uranus and Neptune are made of a mixture of gas and icy materials. Gas giants. Jupiter and Saturn are huge planets made of gas. The Sun is the center of the solar system. Everything in the solar system travels around or orbits the Sun. Space travel. Space travel is how we explore the solar system and learn about our place in the universe. Most space travel is done using robot spacecraft, called probes. The furthest in space that humans have traveled themselves is to the moon. To get into space, people use super-powered spaceships. Space shuttles like Atlantis were used to take people into space for 30 years. Now people use the Russian Soyuz spacecraft. Probes gather data using cameras, magnetometers, and radars, then send the data back to Earth. It takes a robot spacecraft about 6 months to travel to Mars. Space is not an easy place for people to be in. It can be both extremely hot and cold. There are dangerous rays from the sun, and there is no air to breathe. Spaceships and stations are carefully designed to keep astronauts safe. Stars. Stars are balls of very hot gas deep in space. From Earth, they look like tiny dots, but are actually huge. The smallest ordinary star is about the same size as Jupiter. Stars shine because the gases inside them constantly crash together in a process called fusion. Some stars end their lives in a spectacular explosion called a supernova. Others slowly fade as they run out of energy. Stars come in different sizes and colors. A star's color depends on how hot its surface is. The hottest stars are blue, and the coolest ones are red. Blue supergiant. These stars are very young and extremely hot. Red giants are older stars with cool surface temperatures. Our Sun is a middle-aged, medium-sized star with a medium surface temperature. Sun. The Sun is the star at the center of our solar system. It is one of at least 100 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy. The Sun gives off light and heat, making it possible for life to exist on Earth. Astronomers describe the Sun as a yellow dwarf, although it is a medium-sized star. It is a hot ball of gases that are constantly on the move, creating energy. The Sun is 1.3 million times bigger than Earth. In about 5 billion years' time, the Sun will have used most of the gases that keep it shining. It will collapse into a small, very hot white dwarf. It will then slowly cool down and eventually fade away. Universe. The universe is everything around us: matter, energy, and space. This means the Earth, the solar system, the Milky Way, and other galaxies are part of the universe. The universe is very big and is always changing. The universe is made up of billions of galaxies that cluster together, with huge empty spaces between them. The solar system orbits the center of our home galaxy, which is known as the Milky Way. The Sun and its family planets are known as the solar system. Our planet is one of 8 planets that move around the Sun. The universe has no center and is filled with galaxies in all directions. It goes on forever. Scientists think that dark matter is made of particles smaller than atoms. Dark matter is invisible to us, but we know it exists because its force of gravity pulls nearby space objects towards it. Enjoyed the book? What do you want to...
Elior, I choose, where you are in control.